Good morning. Welcome to National Khabar. As the entire nation is going through a tough time, students are worried, schools are closed, they have opted for online classes. The aspirants for career opportunities are in trouble. They don't know what to do. In such a situation, we have a famous career coach, Mr. Abhishek Gupta, with us. Abhishek Gupta is India's leading career coach. He's the recipient of Times Education Icon in 2019. He was conferred World Education Conclave Award in 2018 and 2019. An alumni of University of California, Los Angeles, he has counseled over 17,000 students and has conducted over 500 career workshops globally. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shweta. Good to be here.
So, in such a situation, when students don't know what to do, what is your message to them?
I think it is a tough time. It is very unprecedented. What worse than the fact that you're keeping the teenagers at home when they're rearing with energy to go out? Summers are just setting in. Their entire plans of summer programs and internships have gone for a toss. So yes, it is a tough time, and my message is that it is also a great time. Whenever there is a crisis, there are a lot of opportunities. The bigger the crisis, the bigger the opportunities. So it's a great opportunity for them as well to reflect, to introspect, and possibly get in touch with themselves because most of our teenagers are not in peace with themselves. So it is a great time for them to get in touch with themselves and possibly also try and figure out ways and means of sitting at home and learning. So there are enough opportunities that they can actually utilize in next 14, 15, 20 days. And hopefully these things will settle down in next 2 weeks time. And these 2 weeks, 3 weeks can be utilized really, really well to upskill themselves.
So, you being a career coach, what are your suggestions how to utilize time? What to do during this 24 hours being at home when their energy is not being utilized? What should they do basically?
So the very first thing that they need to do is understand that screen time was often labeled as bad time. And people were actually complaining that why the kids are on the screen. And today, both schools as well as institutions are pushing our own kids towards the screen. So, today is possibly the first time when the kids are realizing that the screen can be used in a very, very positive manner. And there are various apps, there are various portals where the students can go and start learning and upgrading themselves. I generally end up telling the kids that, it is not just about finding the career. It is also about making big in that career. So it is okay to be a bad engineer as long as you can be a good psychologist, right? So
Agree.
the fact of the matter is that if they are able to identify, if they're able to find the right calling for themselves, they can definitely find some apps and some websites, and there are plethora of them where they can. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so they can connect themselves to these plethora of websites. I can suggest some if you want me to.
Yeah, why not? It will help them. It will help them pick up the right things.
So most of our kids are very much away from reading books, and even if they read books, they read a lot of fiction. Now, fiction has a place in itself. Yes, it allows you to go into a fantasy world, but it really creates a havoc with your language and literature skills. So I suggest that the kids should pick up various genres. Now, at this juncture, they cannot go out and buy books, so they can definitely download a couple of apps. There is a very good app called Blinkist that spells like Blinkist. And then there is another very good app called Headway, Headway. Now, these are two apps where you can start with a free subscription. And then possibly if you enjoy these apps, you can later on buy an annual subscription at a couple of $1,000 a year. Uh, each book has been summarized by the author themselves. And the best part is you can finish the book in 10 minutes flat. So you will not be able to read the entire book, but you will get the best of the summary and the gist by the author themselves in 10 minutes. So even if the kids start, let's say at 10 o'clock at night, by 10:10, they will be done with one book. Now imagine in next 21 days, if they do it, religiously, these 10 minutes each will feed them about 21 different books and genres of content. And I strongly believe that if you want to sell, and this is my advice to all the youngsters and their parents out there, if you want your kids to sell content, you need to make them feed content, right? So if you
Certainly,
feed
certainly.
feed the right content, I think Blinkist and Headway are two really good apps where you can not only read the summary, but you can also hear the summary. So if the
Yeah,
kid
so
is
these apps they'll be able to utilize their time using these apps. But when it comes to a proper academic syllabus, which they are finding it difficult to follow, it has given rise to, it has given birth to, new technology. The teachers are online, even the schools have opted for it. Students sitting at home can learn. But do you think it is not as good, not as appropriate as going to a school and learning and sitting at home and learning?
See, Shweta, I have been a strong believer of the fact that the face-to-face learning is far better than online learning. And I have been harping this since ages. Simply because, when you are online, yes, we're trying to replicate the connectivity and the interaction. But imagine if your kid is sitting online and at the same time he has two other tabs open. His attention span goes for a toss, which does not happen in a classroom, because in a classroom he's right in front of the teacher, and if there is a doubt, the teacher is there and then itself available to clear the doubt. And also the kid cannot digress from the current topic which is being taught, which is possibly not the option, because most of us as parents are not sitting on the head of our children to see what are they doing on the other tabs. So that's
Right,
one.
right.
Secondly, in a one to many kind of a format which the schools are utilizing right now, it is good to engage the kids. It is good to show it to the parents that, hey, we are as a school taking some initiative. But imagine if there is one microphone on the other side, and one parent is saying that, son, come on, have breakfast. Other 21 kids in
It
the same
doesn't work
class,
that good. It doesn't work that
yes,
good.
it
Yeah.
doesn't work that good. So I personally feel that online learning can never replace classroom learning, because there is something called peer-to-peer learning. By going to the school, you just don't get content. You
But
also
I
get.
believe they are squeezing out the best out of the worst currently. This is what
So
is
yes,
possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we what better to do, right?
Yeah.
So as of now, what schools are doing, and I strongly feel that they are trying to cover up some syllabus because they are losing out on critical academic year. However, I also feel that the summer vacations will actually be
Converted into.
will be converted into this break. So
Yeah.
I really don't think that in a couple of months down the line, the academic calendar will go for a toss, considering that summer vacation time can be used for the schools. But yes, you have to make the best out of the worst, and the kids can engage themselves in the school classes. Generally, the classes are on. My son is attending class. Your son are also attending classes. So they are attending classes, and they can possibly supplement that with some of the online.
Yeah, but this works primarily for the classes below ninth or 10th standard. But the students who were giving their boards and the parents planning their future, have you lately been receiving calls from them about the expressing their worries? What will they do?
Oh, ask me about it. Ask me about it. My phone is buzzing throughout the day. I'm back to back into calls. Imagine the situation of the kids who are writing their final IB exams or the final 12th standard boards. Now, imagine the situation that even in Indian context, the NEET is postponed. IIT JEE mains have been postponed. The Christ, the Symbiosis, and the Xaviers.
So
These are
is
all.
it going to create a whole lacuna in the entire system? Do you think so? Or apparently it is going to be sorted out?
No, it will be sorted out. See, you need to understand that the colleges right now are also as freaked out as you and me, right? They were not prepared for this situation. So they are trying to grapple with things. They are also trying to move things online and expedite the offer letters and everything. But especially for the high school students who are passing out this year and who wanted to join college, there will be some amount of disruption, and we have to deal with it. But I really think that if by July, this COVID-19 crisis settles down, then everything should be back on track. So
But
high school.
apparently, will it affect uh, the job opportunities abroad and the career aspirants planning their future, going out, studying in the big universities in America and London, do you think it will hamper their job opportunities or their education somehow?
Education won't get hampered simply because most of these universities actually end up starting in fall. So they start only around August and September. So even in the worst case scenario, I presume that the universities will be up and going maybe as late as September or October. This prices will settle down by that time. Uh, Jobs, those who are entering the job industry right now, my heart really goes out for them because the problem will be the COVID-19 problem is a grave humanitarian problem, but after COVID-19, it will be a great economic problem. So
Right.
the chances of jobs will significantly reduce, and that's where your first question becomes very, very critical. And I really liked that question, that what can child do sitting at home? So I really suggest these kids right now that some of them who are now applying for colleges in their interviews and group discussions will definitely ask, what did you do? What was your reaction towards the COVID-19
Certainly.
crisis? And you need to be prepared for it. So I just suggested my kids yesterday that there is a great program called Epidemics on edx.org, that is edx.org. So, you can even go and study about what is a pandemic and what is an epidemic and how does an epidemic actually becomes a pandemic. And,
Right.
you can actually tell the university in the interview that, hey, I did utilize this time because for me, this was all jargon. And when I studied about it, that how it becomes it, so you have to just get innovative with it. There are a lot of skill building programs. I tell all the kids who are in grade 8, 9, 10, and 11. This would essentially not work for a grade 12 kid, but yes, 8, 9, 10, and 11, that go out there, learn some coding skills. Coding is no more about becoming a coder. It is a
Right,
life
right.
skill now.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
a life skill
It
now.
has
And there
become a
are
part of my life, your life, everyone's life.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And there are 7 day programs online, a kid for example, 8th standard or 9th standard, possibly can start even learning animation with a program called Blender. Now, a Blender program takes about 1 week, and the kid will be able to create a small little animation kind of a
So,
thing.
to help these kids who are willing to do such things, such learning at home, sitting at home, what are the apps you would suggest for learning coding and learning animation?
Oh, there are plenty of them. So you can even learn one-on-one. There is a website which is pretty famous nowadays called White Hat Junior. I am not a brand
Yeah.
ambassador of White Hat Junior, though I should have charged money for saying this. However, there is a website called White Hat Junior. In Gurgaon itself, there is another company called Camp K12, which has now started its own online courses. And these are 7, 7, 8 day courses, and you can really learn the basics of HTML and CSS and end up creating your own website in 7 days flat. So I think these are a couple of websites that I can really suggest for the kids to go. Apart from them, you and me are already aware about Udemy and Coursera's, and there are enough programs out there for high school kids. And generally, for any particular thing, let's say the kid has entered 11th and wants to pursue psychology as a career, there will be an introductory program to child psychology, introductory program to social psychology on most of these websites. Okay, so the moment you search introductory program in XYZ field, you will get those courses which will interest a high school going kid. And believe you me, Shweta, the best of the universities internationally that you were asking me about, they will really value this. Especially the typical problem is with the IB kids because their exams are not happening this year, this May, and their diplomas will only be given on the basis of their school work. So there'll be no exams for IB kids. So please understand as viewers that universities will be very, very accommodating. They know that this is a global
Global
crisis.
issue, right,
Yes,
right.
they know it is a global crisis and they will be very accommodating. So don't get panicked just because your IB exams went for a toss or any of your exams went bad because of COVID crisis. Just keep on giving the universities that how did you utilize your time well sitting at home. As long as you have a fair answer for it, you will be through.
Certainly. So it was really very nice talking to you, Mr. Abhishek Gupta. And I think your suggestions to utilize this time, make the best use of it, would help the children and viewers watching this show. Thanks a lot for being on
Thank
the
you
show,
so very
Abhishek.
much, Shweta, and I wish all the best to National Khabar and your team.
Thank you. And I hope you're keeping well. You're
I
staying
am
home,
I'm
staying.
keeping absolutely well, stuck inside home. So it's like this. For the first time, if you ask somebody, how are you? The answer that you get from the other side is the same that the way you are feeling, right?
Yeah. So stay
Stuck at
home,
home.
stay safe.
You
See you
too.
again
Thank
very
you.
soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot, viewers, for watching this show. I hope this show must have given you helpful guidance to do good, to utilize your time in a better manner. Thanks a lot.